Hello and welcome to the Vita Show. We are here at the Nashville Bordeaux Library where noted artist and author Henry L. Jones is debuting his book Run Into Blackness. In the background you hear the author reciting some of his poetry from the book. Why don't we listen?
Smoker's cough makes her eyes bleed, swallowed her own tears to soothe her throat, but not her heart. She shouted Jesus.
Can you tell us what pages?
It was on 64.
That was on page 64.
When you go to
Also with this artist, you can see he has brought also some of his abstract painting, which he has debuted here as well. Numerous articles have been written about Henry L. Jones. This is his first published book of poetry.
Her heart still full of bitterness, but had no one else to blame. Cataract eyes blurred her dreams. Cracked lips whispered twisted lies. She wanted lust to remove her misery, but in her bedroom, passion just dies. A frightened child peeks around the corner. She seeks strong, warm
Run
arms
into
to embrace,
Blackness. They must
to give comfort
read
when her legs
material
get
for
cold
all
while
that
running away
appreciate
from love
and enjoy
and grace.
poetry.
Her face
Okay, this is Navita with the Vita Show, and we're here at the Nashville Bordeaux Library with artist and now author Mr. Henry L. Jones. He has just debuted his new book, Run Into Blackness, his very first book of poetry. And what we wanted to do right now is kind of have a little conversation with Mr. Jones concerning this other work of art that he has done. How you doing, Mr. Jones?
I feel good. Thank you for asking.
Can you tell us a little bit about what went into the creation of this piece of, and I'm going to say art, because
Okay.
it is an art.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it is, because, well, what went into the creation was that about 5 years ago, there I was helping another person get her book together. And someone asked me, well, do you have a book? And I had contributed to books and anthologies, different publications, you know, 1 or 2 poems and so forth, collaborated with other artists. And I said, oh no, I did a chapbook back in the early 90s, but it was very thin, you know, with folded paper and so forth, easy to do. But in terms of actually getting a book with a spine published, I didn't do it, and I said, I need to do it. So that's began my journey to compile a lot of work and to even write new work that could be in it.
And so the works that's in this particular, this is your first book, right, that
My
you
first
have
commercial book,
published.
132 pages, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the poetry that's in this book?
Yes, the book Run Into Blackness, I wanted to cover, well, what I've covered was, I wanted to cover one theme, but I said, no, I need to, what if I die? I've always had this death thing. I said, I want to include the different themes or perspectives. So I included Black love, I'm going to give you the exact contents here.
So you would say it's kind of like going your life experiences, maybe what has touched your life at one time?
Some of them are.
Some of it.
But what I write about mostly when I see someone or I read about something, I write about that person or that historical event, almost transforming myself into that particular character, especially a lot of poems related to history, Black history, and so forth.
For example, you said you were going to give us an example.
In chapter 1, just blacking, loving it. You know, I said instead of, because, you know, the whole chapter is dealing with this problem of liking who we are as black people.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of those poems I pulled back from history because I've asked myself, why do we hate ourselves? I mean, what is it? So from reading and listening to people's stories and so forth, and then my own self, because I'm not so um, far removed from, self-hatred. I've got elements of it, but what is it going to take for us to heal and love ourselves for who we are? And then that moved into chapter 2, love without the blues, and that goes into personal love, loving yourself, relationships, things like that. And in chapter 3, spiritual insight, praising. Chapter 4, a village worth saving, dealing with community issues. And it all really feeds back to the old black and black crime, all that, what goes on. Living it. I've got a unique experience of living in southern cities and urban settings in the north and Midwest. So, and then last, freedom, still longing, because I think we still have a lot to do in terms of freeing ourselves, both internally and externally. And those 5 chapters composed them.
This is all very, I think, exciting and great news to, I think that you're going to do very well with this. And I'm sure that you have more poetry inside of you as well as art or the painting. We are showing one of your paintings that kind of behind you.
This one is called We See. And it was painted because I've just been fascinated with our admiration for voyeurism, basically. People loving to look at other people's lives. So I said, I want to paint about that. And this actually began a series of eyes, because I've always been fascinated with eyes, because, the whole cliche of the windows of the soul and all that. But there's a poem in this book, in my book, called I Am the Eyes, which I recited quite frequently and perform as a play. And that poem is one of the poems that really kind of explains.
Well, where people can get a copy of your book?
You can write to me.
You're found on YouTube?
Yeah, but I have many websites. I use YouTube. You can look through Google Books. If you simply Google Run Into Blackness, Feeling My Poetic Gumbo, or my name, Henry L. Jones, you will see the websites pop up. That's the easiest thing. And the publisher is Pneuma Publishing, and it's still there, of course. And most of the time, I'm out in the street, going to as many. I go wherever people love books.
Well, Mr. Jones, I really hate to cut this short. I know you have a lot more to share, and hopefully that you will be doing another book signing and recital soon. And but we really appreciate you coming out and writing this book.
Well, thank you.
Wish you much success.
Thank you very much.